Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Sorry. All right, Lindsay, if we can have your report for secretary.
Sorry, I distracted Daniel. Okay, from October 9th, 2019, the meeting was called to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. There was the approval for minutes for the September 2019 meeting. T. DeGroat made a motion to accept the minutes as read. D. Phelps seconded, motion carried. For the treasurer report, the balance was $23,017 and 1 cent. Bicentennial balance was $36.79 and 50 cents. L. Brooks made a motion to approve the treasurer report. D. Phelps seconded, motion passed. For old business, apple dumpling days, last month approved the amount for the apple dumpling day. Request wasn't clear, so is requesting full amount. Amendment needs made due to overlooking the second page where the advertising was listed. We approved the $2,500 for the History on Wheels, but did not see the additional money. Need an additional $750 for advertising, radio, and live spot. Total grant would be for $3,250. T. DeGroat made a motion to amend the grant. D. Phelps seconded. Sorry, I forgot an L. Motion passed. L. Brooks abstained due to being on the committee. For new business, Matt McWhorter from Livability Magazine with results from the 29 publication. 15,000 print copies, which was published in April, 150,000 readers online, Livability Indiana website read by 500,000 people, with a Fayette County advertisement at the top of the page, had 25,000 impressions. Rates have not gone up for next year. Distributed nationally and locally to new families in East Central Indiana. Goal is to get new people to move to ECI. Needs new materials. These new materials for next year's advertisement by the beginning of December. Half of payment due in December, remaining balance due by publication date in April 2020. It was recommended from the group that Matt follow up with Amy Hammonds. Bicentennial Committee with possible plaque requests for stage project, Mike Sparks and Jackie Church. Jackie presented 2 sizes of signs, a 10 by 14 for $475 and a 12 by 16 for $585. The group would like to see a larger sign or perhaps 2 signs since there is still money left from the celebration that needs spent. The placement of the plaque was also noted to be better if placed at the entrance to the amphitheater. Daniel Phelps said that the sign placement would have to go through the Historic Preservation Committee for approval. The meeting was adjourned with L. Brooks made a motion and D. Phelps seconded, motion carried.
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes? Diana second. Tamara second. All those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion carried. Tamara, the treasurer's report.
The tourism balance is $18,016.35, and the bicentennial balance is $3,583.10.
Okay. And can you give us, I may put you on the spot, but can you give us what, do you have a total of what is with grants that was approved? Do you have that? Or not? If not, we can do it next week.
No,
Okay.
I mean, it won't take me long to
Okay,
do it.
that's fine. We can make a report on
We
that.
had outstanding grants.
Yeah, outstanding grants, just what we have remaining for the year to pay out. Okay. All right, do I have a motion? Approved?
I make a motion.
Okay. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carried. All right, on to old business. We have Matt McWhorter here from the East Central Livability Magazine, East Central Indiana Livability. Just quickly, we spoke briefly through email and in person when Matt had stopped by. And then I know he was here last month and kind of gave the presentation. Matt, anything to add to that? Do you want to kind of revisit that? And then also, board, if anyone has any anything they want to bring up at this point, any questions for Matt, so that we can take a vote on that this evening. Okay, Matt.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I do appreciate it. I've got some new
information related to our traffic numbers that continue to increase. It's very exciting. We've done a recent online national platform through livability.com promoting the East Central Indiana region and Indiana livability, which that's where your online website linking ad is linked to from, which would be this particular platform. As you can see, the Connersville, Discover Connersville in beautiful Fayette County online display ad up at the top. This particular website has increased traffic now to well over 500,000 annual page views. That gives your online ad opportunity a new resounding increased views or impressions of your ad, with the option for them to link through to your website to get more information.
Okay.
From that 25,000 that I earlier reported last month to a new 75,000 views. Also, our digital magazine ad that has the 3-page gatefold position that we're currently looking at on the screen right now. The digital magazine readership has gone up immensely too, and the multiple page unit ads like the 3-page gatefold ad that you all currently have, and you have right to first refusal, is one of the most highly viewed ads within the digital magazine because of that multiple page placement that you have. And with that linkability, once again, by clicking on the ad on the digital magazine and linking back to your website to get more information, this 3-page platform will provide you an excellent opportunity where we could tweak it for the next annual edition with new events that are different, new, and some things you really want to highlight. And it wouldn't take much to really for us to tweak it, which we don't charge for ad placement design, so it's a nice advantage to use that service. You could just provide some new dates, some new events that you really want to showcase, and it would be very, very simple turnkey change, just as it would for the online website linking Indiana Livability ad also. The thing that's really important to remember behind this has really become the only regional tourism promotion related publication in East Central Indiana that's giving not only great regional exposure, but also statewide exposure and national exposure. And the reason why I say that is the digital magazine itself and the East Central Indiana livability pages. This is the Livability East Central Indiana platform that we provide the featured areas over to the left that Connersville has its own livability page. This is the Connersville livability page. Amy and I cleaned up some of the content with what she recommended, really refreshed it, gave it some great new looks, some new content. But with this renewal of your 3-page gatefold, we want you all to expand on that and provide you, and this is usually a service that we charge cities for, but we want to provide it for no charge with the renewal that you're going to be voting on tonight. To really, I'll send you a survey, we can add some new attractions, do some, as you scroll down the page, you'll see some of the dining treasures in Connersville, best Connersville neighborhoods, and you know, that type of tourism information that you really want to customize on your own Connersville, Indiana site. Another added component to it too is something to let you all know, we do have all of our publications. Those are the first 3 years of the annual publication that we always publish in April of every year. We're adding more content every year. That content drives that traffic. That's the reason our numbers have increased immensely. On our national platform, we're up to right now close to 12 million annual visitors, almost 35 million page views of content. So we've become kind of that go-to resource for people that are not only living in the region, but wanting to visit the region. And the visitors that are coming to our sites and looking at the digital magazines and getting hard copies of the publication, they're at all of the 10 county regional information and visitors bureau locations, the CVBs. They're distributed at all of those locations. A lot of the top employers in the regions are providing to new people that are coming to work for them. They're coming to work for those companies. So we're getting the word out, and you know, get out and do fun things. And the next annual edition, we're going to have a second day trip related story, new additional content that you all can even correlate, and we can incorporate that into that 3-page ad renewal. Some of the cities where we're getting traffic from that are very interesting, you'll hear a bunch of regional, but you'll also hear outside the region. So Muncie, Indiana, New York, New York, Chicago, Illinois, Indianapolis, Indiana, Washington, D.C. This is where traffic, people are looking at East Central Indiana, livability, and planning their vacation, looking possibly coming, to relocate here for a job. So this is Columbus, Ohio, Denver, Colorado, Phoenix, Arizona, Anderson, Indiana, Richmond, Indiana. And then the Livability Indiana website, your online website linking display ad, is in very high rotation right now because you're one of the few that we have that have at that state level. So you're looking at traffic coming to the Livability Indiana site from Indianapolis, New York, Bloomington, Indiana, Fort Wayne, Chicago, Muncie, Carmel, Washington, D.C., Fishers, Indiana, Louisville, Kentucky. So, and the nice thing about that ad that you see up at the top, that ad is not only just rotating on the state page, but it's also rotating on when people go to look at Livability Anderson, Livability Bloomington, Livability Carmel, Columbus, Crown Point, Fort Wayne, Indy, Muncie, Lebanon, and South Bend. So it's great coverage really all over when people are looking at other cities in Indiana that give Connersville the recognition and the exposure it needs and it deserves.
Can you go over some of the options on the pricing for this as well as other opportunities that we spoke about? Can you do that for the board?
Yes. What other opportunities would you like to know a little bit about, Amy?
So we did the larger spread last year due to the county's bicentennial, just having a
Yeah.
larger spread with the 3-page on there. We did have others supporting with us. So
Okay.
as far as the cost associated for the tourism board was about 50% of that price for last year. We have not been able to get any other donors at this point. So if you can give us maybe a 1-page, a 2-page, just give us a couple different options that we would be able to look at versus, and then the cost again on the 3-page fold.
The cost for the 3-page gatefold position that you have right to first refusal over for the total package, including ad design, it also includes the 325 magazines that your ad would be in when the new edition comes out, would be an annual renewal cost of $12,620. And we can split that between 2 calendar years. As the notes earlier mentioned, securing half the total cost. We can do this with any ad placement. Securing half the total cost by that second week of December, the remaining balance until the publication date of April 2020. The other option that we would have availability if you go and you look at downgrading to a 2-page spread. The thing that if you're concerned about partners, the thing that's very successful that we found is if you keep those 3 pages and you want to bring in other partners that you want to go ahead and include in the content and just tell them, this is a great investment, you're going to be included in it. Can you pitch in $500 towards this?
That's what
We wouldn't need those total payments all the way until April.
And that's basically what we did last year.
Exactly.
We were able to do that.
Exactly. And then the second option, if you look at a 2-page spread opportunity, we do offer one up towards the front of the publication, which would be in pages 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. And that comes with the online ad opportunity also included. And that particular investment and total cost for 2 pages with the online ad also not on the Livability Indiana website, but you can get it for an additional $1,200 from the price the rate that I'll give you. So a 2-page spread with Livability Indiana presence is going to be $86.60 plus $1,200 for the 2-page opening with the Livability Indiana online ad. So you're looking at really, it's going to be $98.60.
Right.
Yeah, so, and then the full-page online ad options that we have are further back in the magazine, because our renewal rate for this project has been nearly 100%. And then we've gained even new advertisers, all the way from new public placement, distribution partners like Henry County Health up in Newcastle. So the word's getting out. It's becoming a good publication, not only promote tourism, but promote talent attraction for the employers, and then of course promote investment. You know, getting new companies to also not only come and check out what there is, but look at why they're here. They might consider, oh, this would be a great place to start a business. So, and then the single page or the full page with the online ad opportunity, you're looking at, it would be about a $6,500
And that's the
for
total
full
with the
page
additional.
with the Livability
with the-
Indiana also
on the
presence.
website.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Well, I think since we don't have a bicentennial, we need something to highlight in that page.
A highlight.
Right. Which, if we were to do something, my suggestion would be the museum, to really highlight that as an impetus for people to come here to begin with, and then, you know, expand from that. I don't really see that, I mean, if you're gonna do the 2-page, you might as well go to for the difference in price, go to the.
The only thing about that, and I'll just give my idea about that, is the fact that the price, we split it with a group last year, so we paid $6,000, so that was our out
Who
of
did we
pocket.
split it with last
We
year?
had it with Economic Development, and then we had some other contributors, St. Gabriel's, the Railroad, a few $500, $250s, things like that, that supported the other additional 50%.
Have we pursued them yet this year?
Yes, 2 of them, and they declined.
2 of the larger ones.
Yes.
Did they offer a reason? I mean,
No. I know, I spoke to Dan about it.
Okay.
You didn't. So, you know, I certainly want to do something. I just,
Yeah, I don't
with
know.
the budget that we have for an entire year,
yeah, that's pretty heavy.
that would be heavy for us to be able to do on our own.
Is there anything
Agreed.
smaller than a page, like a quarter page or half page?
I don't think so.
Is it
It's
just
the page, the 2, 3 page, and then the triple
Right.
is the option.
smallest is a single page?
Mhm.
There are others, but it's not going to give you
Any of the
any
access for.
the exposure. I mean, you're looking at all the other counties doing at least a page.
Well, the 3-page, if you're gonna,
Everybody except for there was one of those that didn't, we didn't from them.
ideally, I mean, the middle is, I mean, when I look at a magazine, if there's something like that in the middle,
Right.
that's what.
That's what you, I
And
know.
that's-
Yeah,
that's-
it's
it
the way
is.
it's designed.
It
It
just
opens
falls
up.
over.
Folds
Yeah,
right to it.
And you see that, you think, that's gonna catch your eye.
There are other things that we could put on there, like the museum. There was a little section on the museum before. Did you see, do you have a copy of the book, Diana?
I don't have one with me. I have-
Matt has one, just so you
Yeah,
can
we've
kind of
got
see.
it.
And the one up
This
here.
is your
in the
actual
museum,
placement.
Yeah, can I see?
And
Oh,
it
yeah.
had pictures of, you know, the railroad.
Yeah, I'm a newbie.
Oh, I love the print too.
So certainly. And this needs to be secured no later than the 1st of December. Is that correct?
As far as the space itself,
Space.
yeah, we really need to try and, this is my last week. Yeah, just to get the space secured.
But as far as the artwork and the content, what is our deadline?
First week of December.
Oh, so we would have to have that by the first week of December?
Yeah, just trying to get and it really wouldn't take too much. You know, you just tell us what you have. You could even make copies and mark up really
Okay.
what you want to, you know, add and what you want to take out. And then don't forget too, we don't need this right away, but this, if you renew that 3-page gatefold, I'm gonna let you customize all of this, also Connersville livability.
On the website side.
Yeah. And that's usually a pretty good investment, but I'm gonna offer it basically
What
for
does
the
that usually
renewal.
cost?
Pardon me?
What does that usually cost to do that?
To do a city livability website design, $15,000. But we're gonna provide it included in the
In the
3-page
three-page.
gatefold renewal.
Do you think maybe if we actually did?
And really,
Likely to-
that remaining,
Possibly.
that remaining balance payment, if you need, gathering other partners, as long as we receive that 60 days, even past the publication date, April.
So like in June?
Yeah, so you're gonna have different festivals and fundraisers to accumulate income, to be able to possibly do that, so that would allow you more time.
So then we get 2 more.
All right,
Yeah,
thoughts
she was
from
talking
the,
about-
thoughts from the board on that, so we can take a vote tonight?
Any questions or concerns I can
Right
address?
format or for any.
I can't see doing it without a partner.
I'm
But I
too
think we-
concerned that we will commit the money and then no one will come forward and then we're stuck with it and there goes 2/3 of our budget. Even though I think it'd be worth it in the long run if we already had committed
I think,
however much money.
I think you're more likely to get someone to commit to some extent after the fact. I mean, if it's actually going on and they see what it is and what's there.
That's an awful big risk though. Especially,
You have to take the risk to.
That is true.
but we
you
could
have to-
also,
you have to
with,
get
with that kind of money too, we could also, we'll go into the next year knowing we've got that much money and we could also use it to, we know we'll have other events and stuff coming to us, asking for money and whatnot, and we can guarantee that we can.
Yeah, I'm not discounting that, but our budget it's half of our yearly budget, but what we have right now is close to an annual budget with next year's coming up too. So we do have somewhat of it's not like we're committing far.
Right, so if you take into consideration the check that Tamara just picked up today for the last quarter, that puts us up to close to $25,000 that
Right.
we have going into December, the end of the year. So that is better than any other tourism board has had in the past several years, I will just say.
Yeah, but I also look at the grant requests that we have on the table and the ones we
Well,
still
she
need to
just-
pay.
Yes,
Yeah.
she just looked at those.
Some of those, those are the ones we've approved.
Approved but not have been paid.
Right.
Right.
And, but like the historic comment, the tours, I don't know if they're gonna use that this year, the walking.
This one's actually going to come out of bicentennial.
Yeah. And then this information board,
That's not
it's
good.
not even, and that
Yeah.
was for a big amount.
So what was your total when you added it up just now? What you had left here, Mark? But you said that we had approved but not taken.
13,360,
Is approved but not taken.
exactly.
13,360 is what it was.
Yeah, and that's
45.
45 of it.
Okay.
But, honestly, this has been ongoing for how many years?
Right. This here has
That's
been
new.
ongoing for years, so this is taking a different direction, so
Should some of these that have been granted and have not,
should probably be.
should be
I would,
taken off?
I don't know how long we have to keep it up, I'd say at least to the end of the year.
To the end of the year.
Right, but ones that do we have any from last year?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No,
but if we still want to go forward with
them out.
that, we have to have the money available for them.
Right.
Which one are you talking about?
This information board over here that now the city,
Not fixing city lot,
Mm-hmm.
Well, the city didn't buy it, but,
Oh, well,
yeah.
whatever happened.
Yes.
One of the things we could do to make it more economical is, and you're still gonna have online presence, is we could deduct out and take out the display ad, and that would deduct it by $2,400, because that's the value associated to a Livability Indiana website ad.
And we would still have the,
You'd still have the
Kind of
digital
see that.
magazine
We'd
presence
still
on
have-
the state site.
and we would be on the left.
Yeah.
With the featured cities, because I don't see
Yeah,
that.
and then you have all the,
So that would go down to $10,220.
mhm.
I wouldn't do the 3 pages, no matter what. I think since we don't have any super major events coming on, I think we could get what we want accomplished in 1 page. Because we pretty much, you could say pretty succinctly on 1 page what your big draws are, which is the train, museum, the parks.
What he was just saying, that's the first page you fold to.
Yeah,
so
but-
that was.
When you pick up one of these magazines, do you look through every page?
Yes, I do.
Do you?
As a matter of fact, I do.
I do too, I always flip through them.
I kind of glance through them. But, yeah, I mean, if you're, yeah, I understand what you're
I'm a very
saying.
pictorial person, so the pictures I like is where I stop.
Actually, that number is a little bit lower, just a little bit lower. If we include these, because I already paid the applicant thing,
Oh, for the ads.
so it was 8,800.
For all
Oh,
state
yeah, so
So
aid.
that's-
88 plus 690, so,
One option that I want to let you at least know about while we're discussing it. Okay, this is the brand story that tourism did for Randolph County that we're looking at right now on the screen. It's called a brand story is because we have a dedicated writer, staff person that contacts you directly, gets your storyline. We write it in the tone of the publication. And so it's more an engaging related article because it's content related. And the nice thing about it, we incorporate the images, the photos, which one photo can say 1,000 words. Very important. That's the reason why of the 2 founders of our company, Alex Haley, who wrote Roots, we also he had a Pulitzer Prize winning photographer partner by the name of Robin Hood. So that's the reason why you'll see a lot of very powerful, really unique images, photos within our content because, you know, it's very important to really project an image of the communities that we work in. But this brand story, it's a unique design, layout. You can put the top 8 things related to tourism that are really neat to go see and do. And then the nice thing about it is this article, this 2-page spread is showcased not only on the regional site, look at that, Hello World, meet Randolph County, right on the landing page, but it's also showcased on the state page. So as you go down, Hello World, meet Randolph County. That's the same article.
And that's the,
That's the 2-page brand
Two-page.
story with even has the online ad presence. We write the article. We also provide you 1,000 print overruns of that and the PDF file for you to use in other media platforms you'd like to.
and that comes in the total price of $98.60. That's the 86.60.
$97.25
Okay.
for the 2-page brand story.
And that's with the livability.
Yes, that would be like that Randolph County.
But I mean, that's with the livability, the livability page.
Oh, right,
That
for
we could- that we
Connersville
could- that we could
livability
cut- that we could
page.
cut- That we could customize. It's
Um,
90
I believe I could get approval for if you're gonna downgrade to a 2-page spread. The only thing is, we're so late in the game, usually those placements like that are very desirable. And now I'd have a short amount of time to get a person to renew that, or to get that 3-page gatefold.
If you're gonna do that for
cost another $5,000. That's another, or I'm sorry, that's another
I thought you said
3,000. 97.25 versus the, well, if you're gonna do the 10,020, is that what you're
without the banner.
thinking, without
Yeah,
the banner?
Yeah.
So, what it comes down to for me is that I look at this amount of money and go, we could spend it on this, or I think about how many small events we could help with that kind of money grow, and therefore
Well, that,
make bigger, and then that would pull more people into us and whatnot, that with their own advertising and their pull too, we'll not get, we might not get the same immediately numbers that we can see here, but I feel like I would rather spend the money and grow small events and help them become bigger and better and make us overall better than spend it right this much money now and spend a tenth or however much of our budget in one go.
here's one of the
So-
situations that we've just came upon, Tamara and I, is,
And then if they're under
Story.
HDI.
okay. So recently, we were just made aware of the fact that you cannot apply for a grant request more than one time per year.
Oh.
Yeah, recently. like-
Recently, as in very recent, like last
Yeah.
week. So that kind of changes the way for some things, and the fact that it does, I mean, we've always known it has to be for advertising,
Mhm.
to promote overnight stays. Those have always been where, you know, the guidelines have kind of fell upon based on the innkeeper's tax. But yes, that has just been brought to our attention that we were gonna bring up tonight.
This from last year, the Apple Dumpling Festival under Discover Flowersville. So they would definitely submit that.
Yes, it would be eligible. So everything is starting to be applied for under Discover Connorsville or HCI. That has been two of the, I would say, major ones, right, Tamara?
Right.
HCI and
Yeah.
Discover Connorsville. So if that's the case, they can apply one time per year. Calendar year, per calendar year, yes. One time per calendar year. So keeping that in mind,
And we
How-
only have
we-
$5,310 in unpaid grants.
5,310?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we still have left to pay out of our budget
And that's including that check?
at the beginning of the meeting today.
That is not including that.
Not including that check.
So, and that check is the deposit most recently was 6942.64 that'll go in for this month. So, you know, that's gonna put us, it's still right about $20,000 remaining for, if you take in the 18 plus the 6,900, I mean, we're gonna be about just a little shy of $20,000. Is that the way
So-
you see it, Tamara?
If they
Yeah.
can, so if they can't, if an organization can't apply more than once,
Uh-huh.
can they apply once, but for multiple events? So-
I would say yes, if they have those all lined out and they're all scheduled events. I mean,
Multiple events in the same vein?
well, like for
Well,
the calendar year.
I'm
So if they
So
thinking
come
like
in
if
January.
Discover Connorsville comes to us,
And
they
says-
want a grant request for Apple Dumpling Festival, for the info board, and for the Winterfest, all
Yeah.
on one paper.
That would be how I would say it needs to be.
Mhm.
That's how we
Can we
understand.
verify that with someone? Was that, where,
Okay.
what was that, I mean, what was that, the one per year, was that something this board did previously, or is it a state, something to do with, is it with the tourism, I mean, with the, where
State
did
Board
that
of-
originate? State Board of Accounts, or where did that originate, that, who?
That I don't know.
Because if it's
Stephanie
not-
would be the one.
Mhm.
We, I think we need-
clarify
I think we
it.
need to clarify
And
that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
With
And I
State Board of
don't
Accounts.
have a problem with that if that's okay, but I think we need to clarify it.
Right.
I
I
agree.
think change makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does, it makes a big
For a
difference.
lot of people.
Well, and as you may all know or may not all know, the public, you know, this is something that, you know, as you become on these boards, you start finding out little pieces of information that was never highlighted on anything. We were never given anything or any direction, so,
Yeah.
you know, finding out information along the way is just part of what, you know, what happens when you do things
Right.
like this. So, you know, moving forward with everything that we've, you know, been through recently, we want to make sure that we're doing things, you know, the way it's supposed to be done based on State Board of Accounts. So, you know, the way we look at it is, no, there wouldn't be a problem with coming at the beginning as long as you have well-planned events that are already in place for the coming year, which by the first of the year, you would think that most of them would be. So, I mean, I personally wouldn't see any problem with that, but to get clarification, yes, we need to from the top level.
I would think so.
So that being said, it can change things dramatically on the amount of money that is allotted for different things, because to this point, we've had a lot of little groups and organizations come wanting to do $300 here, $500 here, $1,000 here, which has all been well and good. But if they're, so say, double dipping, you know, multiple times per year, you know, we won't be able to accommodate that going forward. It's mostly gonna have to be a one-time per year, calendar year request for a grant.
And one of the things, and I can totally understand, you want to try and help as many of your organizations as you
Right.
can. But this day and age, you're competing against your other related counties to try and draw these people here for these events. And if you're not promoting it, you're not gonna get the audience.
True.
And that's, you know, so that's really kind of, because if you look at, you know, the Randolph County, I mean, you know, I wouldn't be able to say that if I knew that we weren't really getting in front of enough people for you, for this type of investment, but we are, and how it's being distributed. So, you know, I mean, it's just, so that's kind of really what I wanted to let you.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, the one thing I think that the one thing we want to promote is overnight stays here.
Correct.
And I think this is going to benefit the smaller ones that we have here, because it will promote this area. People will look to this area for those festivals. I know I've looked in books before, and it may have been a different publication or whatever, but Connersville's never in it. And when I looked into Indiana, Connersville's just not there, Fayette County's not there.
Yeah, we weren't in the original publications. Last year was our first year.
Right. and I
Right,
think that's-
Other than
Exactly.
just that little small blurb in the back.
And I hate
which-
to see us,
Yeah.
I hate to see us go backward, because we have so much that we can promote, and I hate to see us go back to where we're not, we're just kind of not.
And the only reason I bring up those things is your investment is gonna be well spent with platforms like this to really get the word out. And when is your new budget year? Is it in July? Or,
It's just, yeah,
January,
later part of
okay.
the fall is when we have
Okay.
budget hearings, but yeah,
Okay.
it's calendar year.
I was just
as
trying
far
to
as
find a way to be
we're
more
quarterly-
creative.
Right, we're quarterly
But it's
distribution.
the budget's actually
Yeah.
County related, but we receive all of our funds on a quarterly basis from the innkeeper's tax.
Right,
So we don't receive any funds from the county.
right. That's what I thought.
But we do
That's
go through the budget
way it
period.
is and all, yeah, and that's, yeah.
Which, you know, over the past 10 years, the average has been about, you know, 20 to 22,000 income per year for
Oh,
tourism.
yeah. Because even Marion, when I talked to them, their tourism, you know, Grant County, and they said, well, you know, we do a publication that, for some reason, they want to try and get people from Atlanta, Georgia to come to Grant County. So they said, well, how much is your cost? And I said, well, you know, and she goes, well, how much is that? And then I had Warm Glow, you know, they're an advertiser, and they distribute the publication up at their location. And she goes, and I said, well, you gotta remember, if it's $12,000, that's only $1,000 a month. Because we're distributing throughout the whole year at all those locations.
True.
So it's not like a monthly publication or a quarterly publication. So, you know, that's, if you look at the investment there from that standpoint.
All right. So I think we need to put this to rest as far as a vote. So
We have until first week in December.
We do. Which
So
this would be
maybe-
our last meeting.
Well, we'd have to call a special meeting if we were gonna vote.
Maybe maybe between now and then, we can try to get some more people on board.
So you guys, you tell me, I'm just the one entertaining a motion.
I don't know, that revelation just throws my whole world out of whack. So I don't know what to do.
I guess I would think maybe we should table it. See if we can get some more people on board, and then if we need to call a
Special meeting before.
before the next meeting.
Yeah, I do not want to move forward with this until we have partners.
So if we have partners, are we moving forward with it, or are we tabling the whole thing? Are we moving forward only with partners regardless of what?
Well, what do you,
We
what,
go
okay,
with,
let
or-
me ask you so if we were to put it in the form of a motion, that we would go forward with it if we had partners, what is the definition of partners? I mean.
So like how much,
How
like
much and
half?
how many and, you know, what? It's kind of
Well,
hard
last
to-
year, we were $6,000 for the tourism board, that's what we spent. So basically 50% of what the ad cost would be. So based on, if we did the lesser amount, half of that 3-page spread would be $5,010.
Yeah, because I don't have a problem letting go of the banner.
Yeah, so that would be $5,010 for 50% of the 3-page. Versus if we did a 2-page, you're looking at $97.25, and if we did a 1-page, it's $6,500.
See, I just don't see the benefit in that much less, for that much less. I just think if we're gonna do it, we might as well. And it's not, and this is not only for what we haven't looked at, what we haven't really mentioned yet either. You kind of mentioned it on the livability page, but this is more far-reaching than just tourism. On the livability page, it shows the best neighborhoods, it shows the
Right.
restaurants, it
Right,
shows.
has everything.
And it gives people a reason to, why they might want to live here. It's not
In depth,
just that
more
we
in
want
depth.
you to visit,
Right.
we want to bring people in. I mean, it's multifaceted as far as,
Right.
as far as I'm.
These are great links too that you can add to the website.
Yeah, and with being able to customize, I think, if we want to, my goal would be to have another hotel or motel or something here to be able to accommodate more people, because we're actually limited right now as to what
Right.
we can accommodate. And in order to do that, we have to have a demand for it.
Right.
And I think that could be, I mean, we had something in the mail today, a geocache. They were in the area for 3 days and they spent 2 nights in Richmond and they did not hear. And the reason, we have to blow our horn. Nobody else is gonna do it for us. And to me, the 3-page ad is the way to do it, because when you open it up, it's there. It's Fayette County, it puts it foremost in their mind. You may look all the way through it, but that's, and if we highlight the things, we have enough to highlight in particular.
Last year, we had the city to contribute, EDG contributed, those were major contributors, so. All right, so I'll entertain some type of motion, or,
You know,
Yes, sir.
Amy, I don't mean to interrupt, but one of the things that I could do is, at a minimum, put you in if there's a dollar investment amount, I could, to make the best recommendation. And then if you do get other investors, I can do an ad change order back to that 3-page, if that's something, that you guys would like to do.
We could change, say we got investors or partners
Contributors.
that were not, maybe we did not feature in the first, we could insert. them
Oh,
into
yeah. Yeah, because it's really with just obtaining half that total payment.
Now, if this,
The thing is, making that ad change within by that first week
Of
of
April.
December,
December.
because we're gonna have to start pagination and stories and start getting that all, so we would kind of need to know your final,
what would be the drop dead date on that?
like that first week of December, but this week we would at least, to help us with the content, know at a minimum what you would feel comfortable with. What minimum ad size that you would feel comfortable with as a whole. And then by December, we can, if you able to get other partners and you feel good about, renewing that 3-page gatefold, then I can send you an ad change order and just get your signature and put you, and I'll hold that 3-page gatefold.
That's what my question was, is how long can you hold that for us?
Till, that first week
First
of
week of
December.
December, okay.
Yeah. And I'll be around next week if,
Okay.
you guys want me to,
Talk to somebody or?
come visit anybody.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. Any other questions from the board for Matt? Any
So
other
are-
questions?
Are we going to, what action are we going to take tonight? Are we going to table it, or are we going to call a special meeting? Do we have to call a special meeting, or can we do a?
Have to be, has to be a special meeting and it has to be public.
Okay, that's no problem.
And it has to be at least 3 days' notice, so, in the newspaper.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
Okay, so.
I can, okay. Yeah,
So do I have a motion or I have a table?
A motion to table it.
Motion to table, okay. All right, so we'll be back in touch with you prior to the December 1st deadline.
Oh, okay. So there's
Okay.
not even at a minimum, you guys are wanting to hold us?
I think if we're gonna spend the money, we should go with the 3-page. Yeah, I think if there's not enough difference, it's only like $1,000 difference without the banner.
Oh, yeah,
Without the banner.
$2,400.
Well,
yeah.
you're talking 10,000 something with the banner. You're talking
10,020 versus 97.25.
Yeah, 12,620 for the whole package.
But
yeah.
without the banner, it's
Without
10.
the banner, it would be the 10,620.
Yeah.
Of the 10,620.
And then with the one you gave us with the 2-page spread, was a
Yeah.
total of 98.60. So
Yeah.
you're right at the same.
I know.
So I don't see, if you're gonna spend that
So
much
if,
money.
since we've tabled it, then we can give you an answer before the deadline on the 3-page, the 3-page fold.
Yeah, so would it be a situation, just so I can report back to my employer, that if you don't get partners to do the 3-page, you're not gonna do anything at all? Because we've been holding that gatefold for
Right.
almost 2 months now for you.
I really think we need to do something. I just,
That would really be a step back.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah,
So are you saying you don't want to do anything if you? But, I mean.
I don't know anymore.
Okay.
To be real honest, I don't know
I-
anymore.
I mean, my thoughts are, and I, of course, can't make a motion, but I mean, my thoughts, the whole thing is, we went big last year, and we had something to go big for. If we don't continually do something, then we take ourselves completely off the map, and we do nothing.
That's right.
Which is not what we want to do as a tourism. We want to be able to promote outside of our small little town, and yes, Facebook can do that, and our website can do that, but with the large amount of where this publication reaches, that's almost virtually impossible for us to do here.
and it reaches a different,
Spectrum of people.
yes.
It does. So, I mean, my thoughts on this whole, if nothing else that comes out of this, is we need to do something. And if we were at the same level, 50% of what we did last year, that would be, if it had to be the 1-page ad, at least that's the budget we had last year. And that would be the same.
Because I think a 1-page ad, you could say, since we don't have any big, huge events, we could promote the things that we know will bring tourism to us.
Which are,
Well, I think you could promote like the train museum and our parks, are I think our 3 biggest draws in Fayette County.
I think the big draw right now is right across the street.
So you
And
could
it's
on a
not-
1-page, you could promote those pretty well. And then because people's attention spans tend to be really fast. If you have that 1-page ad that's really eye-catching, people will stop and go, "Oh, that looks really interesting. What's about that all about?" And it gives you enough of. And if it's got like our website on it, people, if they want to find out more, they can go to the website and Facebook and whatnot to find it. 'Cause-
okay, so
Okay.
I'm just gonna say a couple of things.
We will do something.
Right, I think we should do
Okay.
something, yes,
We will do
is
something.
my,
Yeah,
my
we're not
thoughts
gonna
too.
be high and dry.
Okay.
But this is gonna be my next thing. If
Okay.
we leave this meeting tonight and we don't do anything about it then we've done we've done nothing. So we have to commit to do something when we leave this meeting as far as seeking out other people to want to do this. I mean, we'll talk to some people. Tamara's already made a comment about one
So have I.
group of people.
Well, I have.
Diana has too. So I mean, I think, all of us need to go back to our entities, like the railroad, different places like that, and see if they want to be contributors again. And if we feel like we are very adamant about this and we can, have them talk to Matt, if Matt's available, he said here this next week.
Yeah.
That he'll be back around this area. I certainly believe that we should leave here tonight taking on the task of trying to
Searching
make
out
this work.
first. Yes.
Not this, we're just dropping the ball, because I do feel like last year we said, go big or go home. We have to do stuff like this, and we have to take chances in order to make it, but do we have the budget to do it solely? No, we do not. I agree with that. But with the contributors, we do. But we have to move forward with trying to get those contributors, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if we can leave here tonight,
I'll
taking
s-
back to.
I'll send an email, but our next board meeting isn't until January. So we'll see what we can do. I don't know.
Which they did 500 last year.
And it was, so I got my note, it was 6,500 for the one page.
For one page.
With online or without online?
The one
With-
page with.
With online?
What is it without?
It would be, you're looking at 53.
Okay. All right.
For just your standard package, yeah.
So we've tabled this for tonight. We're going away with contacting previous year's contributors. And then we will have a special meeting to be announced at a later date before the deadline. How's that? Okay. All right. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate your
you.
time. All right, so our next old business is the bicentennial and the signage along with the disbandment.
Yeah.
Okay, Jackie Church.
After our last meeting, I went back and I got a quote on bigger but not obnoxious. And decided to add,
I think that was the original. Do you want the original?
oh, yeah,
Yeah, trade me.
let me,
I like this because my name's on it.
well, I had it folded. The original idea was to put minimum amount of information on it, just that we done it. This adds all those that were involved, whether it be by Bicentennial Committee, by tourism, by the city, by the Parks Department, the county commissioners, and then, of course, the donors that were instrumental in it, along with Connersville Lions Club being the major donor, and then Joel Long at Shoulder Blackwell, and then our day sponsors. So I think we pretty much included everybody that had some kind of influence or hand on it. And the second page is the price from Kane Signs.
Sorry.
$1,800 for the 32 by 24. And then the last page, somebody doesn't have the third page.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't have a good shape either.
Oh, you don't have a third page?
That's okay, I'll share.
Third page being from Chase McCombs on the mount that the sign would be on, because right now the amphitheater has a sign on the right side that commemorates the 1996 improvements, so this would be on the left side of
So it's
the
nice and
amphitheater.
symmetrical.
This one, the original on the right is brown, kind of a brass look. This would be black with silver letters and black steel powder coated tubing, 1.25 inches or 1.5 inches. And Chase's quote was $300, and for him to install it would be $150. That would be an option, because it may be that the park might want to, they might want to install it themselves,
So
but I had him quote it.
So the 2250 would be inclusive of purchase and,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then underneath that Kane sign, it says prices do not include taxes. Side permits can be obtained by Kane sign. Do we have to have a permit for that sign?
No,
since
no,
it's
we don't
okay?
have to have a
I
permit.
didn't think so, but I just wanna make
And
sure.
so we wouldn't have to do that. The only thing for us to order it, I would have to have 50% down when I place the order. So,
All right, so we're looking at a request of 2250 out of the 3583 that's left from the bicentennial funds, correct?
mhm,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Does anybody have any questions for Jackie?
I like it. I think she did exactly what we asked for.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I thought it fit. This is what I would have originally liked to do, but I thought money-wise, I tried to keep it as simple
Sure.
as I could, so.
We can't spend your money,
Yeah.
so.
So we're spending,
It's
you're spending
yours.
it, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yes, Mike?
I should have already asked Jackie this. Has this been cleared with the Preservation Commission?
Catherine Good assured me that it did not have to be, and I did get a sign-off from the Parks Department
Okay.
that it was approved.
Clear.
I was there when we
Yeah.
talked to her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, because we're not mounting it to the wall or anything, putting it in the ground.
It's inside of the first historic district in Fayette County. I would question it.
Well, that's what I was told, because I asked if I needed to go to the Preservation Committee meeting as well, and she said no, that as long as that cleared the Parks Department, that they overseen it, but I
If
figured
you, I
Daniel
mean,
might.
if you wanna bring it forward to us, it's not gonna be a problem.
Okay.
And just, even if you don't have to, if you just wanted to anyway,
Well, that's kind of what I thought, just to cover,
Dot the I and cross the T.
just to
Yeah.
cover all the bases.
because I don't, because it's,
It's
it's
a
a,
change within the park.
yeah, but we all, because we made a thing about Martin thing, so I'd say go ahead and do it just because.
Okay.
That way, if anyone
When
questions.
is the next meeting?
Second Monday
No.
of the month.
All right.
I think we changed
The
it.
first.
It's the 9th
With smaller text.
is what
December
I
9th?
have, is what I have listed.
And where are they at?
It's at the, not the courthouse, that's where we're in, City Hall.
Oh, okay.
And it's gonna be at noon because we're doing like a,
Okay.
we're doing like a lunch
Oh.
thing.
Okay, at
Um,
noon.
So I,
Okay.
because it's a
Can
permanent
you-
structure, so I would think so.
Can you get me on the agenda then, and
Yeah, I'll,
And I'll come?
I'll try and remind people, and I think, even if you don't have to, even if Catherine says it's okay, I think it wouldn't hurt,
Yeah,
you know,
well,
to have
that's
the
kinda
approval.
what I
So that
thought
way, if
we
anyone
had
down the
on
line
that.
says, well, you didn't do this, well, yes, I did, you know, just for the safety of it, so that no one else
Yeah.
argues with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it.
All righty.
All
Any other
right, so-
questions?
I don't think so, so I probably need to entertain a motion for that. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the 2250 for the signage for the bicentennial, which is part of the remaining $3,583.10 that remains.
So,
A second?
Oh, do you need a second? I have a second.
Hold
Okay.
on. Let me catch up. Who made the motion?
Balance.
Tamara? Diana.
That one down there.
Where's that?
And then me down here second.
The other TV. I can't.
That's not confusing at all.
Daniel seconded. Okay, I'm caught up.
Okay, that leaves us okay, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
Unless it's my place.
All right, so
Okay.
an official,
Can I get a signature on the contract when I take it back to?
You need half of it.
Yes.
we can do that
And we
tonight.
have one
Or-
question for you after the meeting.
Yes, I think
Oh,
so.
okay, okay. And I'll be in touch with you after I see HPC on that, and then we'll order it then. I'll
Well,
let Canes know that
Tamara, I
it'll
think it's
be
half of the 1,800.
December.
That's what I was
Half of the
wondering.
1,800.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
So that leaves a balance of $1,333.10, if that's fully funded. Next on the old business would be the disbandment for the bicentennial. Now that we have that, Mike, do you want to say any final
Well, I've
words?
got very little to say, except,
Okay.
this all started about 16 months ago. And when Jenny and I were asked to take on this project, for reasons unknown, we accepted. And in one respect, the 16 months seemed to go very quickly. But now that we've taken care of the plaque officially, that'll just be a matter of getting it manufactured and installed at a later date. I think now the time has come. It's been fun and it's been a privilege for us personally. And we want to thank the tourism board. We want to thank all of the committee members. Nobody can ever say that this was a singular effort. This was an effort of you folks, the Bicentennial Committee, and ultimately many other folks from the community, both within the city and in the county. And I think the lesson for the future for people that want to do something major in this community is pick that worthy cause and then gather the right people around you. The community will back you. They have all through the years, and once again, they did in this. So, but now I think it is time to close out this chapter. So I would like to propose to you folks that you, at this time, would decommission the Fayette County Bicentennial Committee as an official body.
So what do we do with the money that's left?
So, yeah.
That's my only question.
First of all, and I'll address that in just a second. First of all, I want to say a special thank you to Mike and Jenny Sparks. They took this on. We had a short time to plan this compared to the city bicentennial back.
4 years last time.
Yes, yes. And, you know, I was a part of that in the previous years, and, you know, a lot of the same people, good people that we have in Connersville were a part of the county bicentennial this year. And like Mike said, I'll reiterate that, you know, we have a lot of good people in Fayette County, Connersville, that come together for the good of the cause, which makes me proud, and I know the rest of us are very proud to say that we were a part of that. All through the trials and tribulations, I have to say. But that has probably been, you know, what I'll remember most about the last 2 years. So I just want to say thank you. Now to talk about the $1,300 that we have left. So before we disband, would you like to donate that to a worthy cause, such as the Livability magazine, or any other worthy cause that would be back to the tourism?
Since you asked, and I did not plan this. In fact, I didn't know we had any input in what happened to that money. That's,
At this point, we're in a gray area, so we'll just,
Yeah.
you know.
as far as I'm concerned, that's your decision. But we have a gentleman sitting right here that is working hard to develop something that I think we all hope goes really big. An annual Veterans Tribute in Fayette County for really veterans from everywhere. Who in the world wouldn't want to support that? So if you're asking my opinion, I would say turn that money over to
Part of
help
that.
him with his project.
Okay.
And maybe that can be through the advertising for the magazine, but, and my final thought would be, if you do a magazine, you won't be doing that large section on a bicentennial. Why not put some pictures from last year's parade, all the flags up and down Park Road or something? That should be part of a draw to bring people in for next year
You're right.
for that event.
Okay.
And I believe it would.
Think so
That's
too.
my thoughts.
Thank you, thank you. All right, so I will entertain a motion for the decommission of the bicentennial committee.
I will gladly entertain that.
Okay, do I have a second?
I will second.
Okay, all those in favor of the decommission of the committee?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Who seconded?
I did.
So it's,
I know.
Just a fleeting moment.
Yeah, it's going.
Well, it's us, it's part of our money, so we'll have to do that as part of ours, but yes. All right, we're on to new business. We have a IPA grant request,
For all that it means, apparently.
which, you know, which
well, it's the end of the year. And this is supposed to be a year, so we have a new calendar year.
we'll have a new calendar year. But my thoughts for you would be to go back to the group and get together
This calendar year.
next year.
We've got next year's season figured out.
Okay.
So, because
So-
we have to plan the season out. We know what our February show is, we know what our June show will be, and we actually know what our fall show will be, and we're doing the musical. Which is very expensive.
So, because this event is coming up
This weekend,
this weekend.
in 2 days.
We wouldn't be able to table that until we found out. We would be able to vote
Subject to.
subject to final approval. To find out for sure, I would rather
On the
do.
clarification is what we're asking you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
All
can all do
right.
whatever, just let, I can't vote, so
Okay.
I must abstain courteously.
What's it called? Bentley Volunteers.
Bentley Volunteers? Yeah, I think it's Bentley Volunteers is the play.
Okay.
It's original production.
All right, so, okay. So I will entertain a motion to, subject to clarification of the number of times per year per group that can be approved. So if someone wants to make
I'll,
that,
I'll make that motion.
you make that motion? Okay. So the motion that was made by Diana, do I have a second to that?
I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried.
I abstain.
Right.
Yeah.
Daniel
So
abstained.
it's, so it's in the minutes.
Hold on, I just want some verbiage. So Diana Phillips made a motion to approve the grant request,
Subject to.
subject
To clarification of the number of times per year one 501c3 can obtain a grant.
Okay, who seconded? Tammy?
Tamara did. You have one?
Dee Phillips abstained.
Okay. All right, so I believe the next piece of new business is we have a grant request for the Armed Forces Weekend. The facilitator is Adrian Ellis. He's here tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and, Adrian, if you have anything to add to it, I'm just gonna read through the grant if that's okay, that you submitted to me. I had already forwarded it to the board. So this is for the Armed Forces Weekend from the committee organization. It's through the tax ID number 501c3 Everton Lions Club. The location is Roberts Park, Park Road area for the parade. The dates are May 15th, 16th, and 17th, 2020. They're expected to turn out for this event. Attendees from Fayette County would be 3,000 plus. From outside, it says difficult to calculate, but video was streamed to cities in Indiana and 7 states. Description of your event and the impact on the community. There will be a celebration of all those who have served in the armed forces and a tribute to emergency service personnel. We will draw from across the state and country. Local merchants song will increase during the 2019 weekend event and have asked for greater involvement in the future. Explain how your event can encourage overnight stay. During the 2019 event, participants and those returning here made arrangements to stay overnight. The event in 2020 will be a 3-day event promoting vendors, participants, and attendees to seek overnight stay in local facilities and campgrounds. The advertising plan. The event budget is stated at $20,000. The grant request is for $10,000. That includes newspaper, television, radio, printed material, and online. Description of what the purpose of the requested funds is: audiovisual equipment, with advertising, marketing, printing, banners, veterans dinner, and portable stage. And under the audiovisual equipment is a one-time purchase. Any questions at this point?
Does that, do those descriptions or the requests fall within the parameters of what the application guidelines show?
The only thing that I see would be,
The audiovisual.
yeah, it has to be advertisement, anything for advertisement, so like the audio visual, I'm not sure about, and the dinner.
Okay. Do you have a
Do-
breakdown, Adrian, sorry, Keelan, do you have a breakdown, Adrian, of those specific things as far as the advertising, marketing, printing, banners, the dinner
I have
and the
the
video
equipment.
equipment? The equipment you do, okay.
Venture enough, I think I've got PTSD after the first year. And we had an internal, I'm not sure what you want to call
Dysfunction.
it, thing.
Dysfunctional.
I'll be nice and just leave that thing and stop there.
That word,
How are you?
internal dysfunction.
One thing that probably needs to be said, that this is a planned event. It's not just a question of the Armed Forces Weekend. This is phase 1 of 4. Mike has been there from the beginning. The original presentation was made to Senator Donnelly's office and several others. Mike was there. This encompasses development, tourism, additional hotel in a fashion you've never seen before. We originally had some seed money, but that seed money is sitting out at the corner of the parking lot in the face of a statue. That was originally planned for us, but somehow that got shoved to the side. There are so many implications and possibilities of what we're doing. It goes way beyond just the military. But the military in and of itself is a connection to everything. It connects the past, the present, and the future. Fayette County is named after a Revolutionary War general. The park is donated by a Civil War officer. We have battled through many things. You're probably all aware we were just awarded the park. Getting the whole park is a tactical maneuver. It is not to keep anything from happening. We're using 1% of the park's time. But in the middle of that, you want to have control of the field. I can see someone saying, well, I want to have an event there. Well, what will that do to what we're doing? It's not to keep anyone from doing anything. I can see at some point in time a military-style wedding. I think somebody would want to do that, which would draw people to the local establishments. People purchase gasoline. I've been involved in a lot of issues here. I work closely with the Everton Fire Department on their tractor pulls. At one time, we were so successful that McDonald's and Wendy's sold out of hamburgers. That's awesome. I'd love to see that again, and I think what we have here has the capability of matching the turnout for the county fair. Because the ultimate part in the second and third phase is a military fair. You have the opportunity to connect with so much because of that. You've got the history of all the Jeep bodies being made in Connersville during World War II. You have the service personnel. We have a veteran that was on the crew of Air Force One. You have so many things. Buddies of mine are fighter pilots from here. Having said that, so many things are drawn to this community that we have established ourselves. Now we look at where we're going. Have a website up. That website was generic. It's up to look at. Now I'm going back in and revamp that to show the actual occurrences. We were featured on the news broadcast. They asked for images. We only had the images from the past. Now we have a boatload that we can show them along with video. So the promotion and the marketing and advertising is ongoing. The website helped quite a bit. We were able to establish ourselves within a 60-mile radius, and that's going to go further. There were actually 2 people who flew here from California for this event. And again, this is a multi-phase event that we did talk about that with the Tourism Bureau before, the presentation at the building across the street that kind of alluded to where we're going with this. Getting to that reality, 2 things. One, it will be the only one of its kind in America. Two, it will change State Road 1 forever in a way that no one could imagine. And Mike is well aware of what that's all about. We're not being cryptic, but there's an old saying around here, I know you've heard a million times, and it's at the base of what I do. I'm a planner. I'm the director of local emergency management and homeland security. I have to look at worst case scenarios. I'm also the member of the state's Homeland Security Task Force. Hurricane Sandy, pack up and go. There are a million things you have to be ready for. But the one theme is being prepared, and there's a subcategory into that. I know you've heard this, and tell me if I'm wrong. And this goes to a lot of things in town. I'm fixing to get ready. I've heard that all my life. Do you know what that means? You're doing nothing. If you're not ready, that's presupposed by getting ready. If you're fixing to get ready, you're not doing anything. I have to play my cards close to the vest because everybody wants in. You always know you have a good idea when someone wants to get into it. I've had people go to the point of telling me, you need to contact every group in town and get their permission. But they have nothing to add. I want everybody in town involved. There are things that we have to do that, last year, half that old event came out of my pocket, and I don't care. It's worth it. We're looking at bringing not only business, but if we get to the fourth phase of this, we will create a couple hundred permanent jobs. And something that this community will just go crazy on. The days of smokestack chasing are over. You're not gonna get the 3,000 member factories. But places like Santa Claus, Indiana don't have a factory. And one of the key issues for me is, how do we build on that? Well, we've got to start. The parade this year, in conjunction with the bicentennial, had people lined up and down Park Road. In June, everything was established legally for next year. That's done. Permits with the state, the park, and everything, that's now ready to go. So we're moving forward, being able to present things. We have events planned that will use all of the park, but it's a marketing and advertising scenario waiting. And because of that, there are things that we need to do. Yeah, I need equipment, absolutely. And as stated, this is a one-time buy. There are many things that can be done, and I know very well that coming in here to ask for money, no, you can't give me everything I want. I have to get what I can. That's why I'm knocking on every door I can get to. It is for the community. It grows Connersville. It increases business. We just lost another grocery store, so, you know, there's another 10. But we have to go beyond that, and we can't keep doing the same things we've always done. To expect another 2,000 member factory, yeah, maybe. But I believe in quantum theory. There's nothing big. Everything is a combination of little pieces put together. And this is another piece that I think that benefits the entire community, and I think the Tourism Bureau needs to be a partner. I think your input, because along the way, I want to link with the railroad. That is such a beautiful asset. And to give you something, I have family that lives in Flint, Michigan. I lived there. I will never forget this day the rest of my life. My daughter and I were going to Flint, Michigan. We get halfway and she says, hey, let's stop and get a Coke. We walk into McDonald's. I've got my Homeland Security jacket on. I walk in, I'm at the counter, and I hear a guy say, hey, that's him. And I'm thinking, my daughter's gonna see me get in a fight. I don't know what this is all about. And I turn around, it was the Veteran Service Officer from Connersville, Mr. Kemker. He passed away recently. He was a Marine, great man. So we go on about our business. We get to Flint, Michigan. She was young at the time, and she loved Chuck E. Cheese. We go to Chuck E. Cheese, walk in, the guy sees Fayette County, he says, that's Connersville. First thing I do is look at my brother, you just set me up. The guy's name was Rigney. He said he lived across from the middle school on Grant. And I thought, okay, and he said, well, I used to love to go to Taco Lakeland. You have to be here, from here to know that. So we do have a reputation, but where I was getting with all this, he said, hey, that's where the Polar Express is. They've heard about that all the way to Flint, Michigan. So we do have a name, and we have to capitalize on that in every way we can. I think my website, I need to link to yours. I need to put that information out that we get and move that on. And I think as we get our information together and spread that out, it helps everybody. I can only ask for you to give what's available. I can't ask for any more than that. So having said that, if there are any questions, I'll gladly take them.
Okay.
So your proposed total budget's 20,000 for this year? And this is phase 1 or 2?
This is still phase one.
Phase 1.
Did you have any idea, or, because I know last year it was 1 day, next year it's gonna be the 3 days.
Yes.
Any idea of something you can tell us that maybe you're gonna do?
Yeah, we're gonna do
those
some
3 days?
stuff. The first day and then the second day, we're gonna do some more stuff.
And the third day, more stuff.
The first night, one of the reasons for the equipment is we want to have movie night. The vendors would be there, something for the family. Propose that, a tribute to our local armed forces and anyone else. I started putting images on my website of soldiers from Fayette County, people who are serving. And that, I love the response to that. Well, I'm going to go back and put the real world into that. We always want to promote that, and then make connections. I've got a feeler out with Comcast. I'm trying to get it set up to where we can communicate with military bases. My nephew just graduated, he's a Marine now, and I'm so proud of him. We want to be able to offer that to people that they could possibly not only talk to active service personnel, but if there's any way, talk to personnel overseas. To make that available in a real world scenario, to utilize all the flags we had, the 10,000 flags will be out for display along with all the ones up and down the road. The key to everything was what was said to me during the dinner. I had a man tell me, I've been waiting 50 years to hear somebody say, welcome home. And the downside of that, our plan was to serve a meal and always serve one, but I saw men there that I knew, A, that was the best meal they had that day, and possibly for a couple of others, that was the only meal they had for the day. And the concept of supporting soldiers going through PTSD, hunger, homelessness. There are homeless people in this town, and they're homeless veterans. Our mission is to support all of them. We've got service groups that will be coming, possible employers. The military will be there for a support display, and just let people fellowship. And we've had, like Mike and Cheryl Myers, I cannot thank them enough, because they stepped up to the person that used to be here, that set us into a tailspin. But they stepped up, and I love them to death, because they made it possible to feed the soldiers, and they did it in record time. That is what we're at. We're looking at that spirit of community and that dedication that comes with the military. So many suffered, so many are gone. That is the heart of our community. As I said, we're named after a general that fought to give this country its freedom in a park donated by an officer. It doesn't get any better than that. We've got the park free of charge now. So we can move forward, and if none of you were there to see the presentation, it's called Trains, Planes, and Automobiles. And the hotel involved in that, rock your socks off. Because the timing for that is getting better. The potential is great. The cost is low. And we're on a roll. We've got the first step down. There hadn't been a parade here in 20 years, hasn't been anything. It's back, we're doing it again, we're gonna grow, and we're gonna put this town on the map.
I know Lindsay just had something that she asked me about, but as far as the equipment that the Parks Department has, is that gonna be able to be used by,
Yeah.
it's not going to be
The movie
We-
screen?
the movie screen and,
We have something planned for the frame that's there that has a dual purpose. And we've got different events. What you see there is a combination of two different systems. Now, I'm going back to my college days playing in band. We've got to be able to operate totally independent because we don't know what they're gonna do, but we've got to be able to have this equipment because we may have other events going on in town as well. We want this to expand. And as I said, this is a one-time purchase.
So you're not gonna use their movie screen?
Just on a side note though, you might wanna check with them about the poles, because she
Yeah.
did mention they were taking those down.
yeah.
So you might wanna,
I have no backup plan.
okay, I don't want them to take
Just
them
in
down if
case.
you wanna use them.
Be prepared. I wasn't Boy Scout.
All right.
No, that's okay.
All right, so we have the portable stage. If you look at one of the coordinating page in the back, it says portable stage 700, printing, advertising, marketing, which include banners, murals, and display materials 400, veterans dinner 350, and then with the equipment, that's where the total round about $10,000 comes in.
Maybe we could steal a statue up front, so.
I'm sorry.
Maybe we could steal a statue up front.
Such
So
a-
that's gonna be our vote.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion if there's no more questions for Adrian. And if there is questions, we'll address those now.
The only question I have is, I just wanna clarify and make aware and be sure, that we're giving the money for something that I guess we're allowed to. Because on the first page of the application, there's some criteria that we have to, abide by. It's not on here. It's on
You have the front copy?
Oh, she's got it.
It's, encourages to see after.
Here.
Is created is for the sole purpose of marketing only, not for food or not other non-marketing product. So we might need to get a clarification as far as what we can do.
Okay, it's on the email.
Okay. So what they're reiterating is the front part of your application that had that on there, about the promotion of the, I'm sorry.
The grant is for the sole purpose of marketing only.
Not for food or other marketing, non-marketing products. So, we just need to get clarification on that portion of it.
Well, those speakers and everything, that's advertised and marketing.
Well, we'll have to get their clarification, but
And
that's
we-
not to say that we can't, I mean, you're gonna have to have advertising, you're
Right.
gonna have other things, so
Right.
it's not to say that if we can't do this,
Mhm.
per se,
That you
there's not,
can't
that
use
there's
the
not
money
something
for-
else, and we
right.
can maybe adjust this.
Well,
Appropriate.
anything you can do is appreciated, and I
Yeah.
know very well that you don't get everything you ask for.
So I think we could probably, what was it,
It's the
400? We could approve the 400,
But then if you can't come back a second time in a calendar year, you know what I
but
mean?
he's not got anything this calendar year.
Well, not this year, that's right, that's true, that's true.
So even though the event's
Well, now,
next
okay,
Although
is that
Oh,
rule,
God.
and that's another thing
We
we need
need
to clarify.
to
That's
clarify.
another thing we need to clarify, is it the time of the, when it is, like, this is gonna be for 2020. So is this gonna count for 2020, or is it gonna count for 2019?
Well, he's asking it for it in 2019.
But the
Yeah.
event is in 2020,
Mhm.
Well, I
so we
think-
need to clarify that.
So
I
we could,
would think it would be the year of the event, rather than
And,
the year of the.
and I
I
would
think
think,
it would
yeah,
be the
I
year
would
of
think,
the
that's what we need to
request.
get
Get clarification on that.
I would think it was the year of whenever it was applied for.
Applied
so
for.
I mean, I would almost say approve 400 pending clarification
For this year.
for this year, yeah, and then the rest.
Let's see, next year we won't, some of us won't be sitting here. See people that this is
But
coming
we'll
in
have
front
one
of.
more meeting.
Huh?
We'll
We
have,
still have
well,
one more
2 more
meeting.
meetings.
Right.
Special
True.
called and then December.
Mhm.
Well,
Okay.
but if we
One
approve partial now, and then either next month or December, we
It's in the
can't
same
add.
year.
We can
I would
amend
say-
it, can't we?
We
Why
can
don't-
amend.
Logistics.
Since we're looking at an event that's gonna be in May of 2020, I would
I
maybe
mean, we also have
entertain.
time too.
I'm sorry?
We have time too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I would entertain a motion that we table it to the next meeting with clarification, so that we don't mess something up for you potentially by,
For the total.
And give you
Yeah.
less than when we can give you more.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
Just don't forget, the speakers, you're advertising.
Right.
Okay.
What
But
is
it's-
it?
it's-
Sticker on the side of it that
Okay.
it's the interpretation of the
Higher above us.
Yes.
All right, so
Is
Diana,
Jesus involved in this?
all right, so if I understand this correctly, we are,
I have a motion to table this pending clarification of.
Okay.
the-
all right, do I have a second?
I will second.
Okay, all those in favor of tabling this until clarification is present?
Aye.
Okay. Those opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adrian.
Okay.
So we'll get
We'll
that
get this figured out.
clarified before next meeting
Okay,
in December.
thank you.
All right. Is there any other business to add? Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Time.
Aye.
Motion adjourned.
Seconded, Sarah.